what makes a film great is subjective. There's not a hard and fast formula, and you can break down and say, okay, this makes a great film and this does not. However, there are certain elements that are true of all great films. Something that there's a thread that runs through them. The first is the story.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. That's one of the things everybody who knows anything about film, all the people you hear talking about films, the good directors, is the story. What's the movie about? And oftentimes when you find a movie that you don't like, it's because of the story. It's not the special effects. The special effects are fine. The actors are fine. But then you just come away, it's like something just didn't work there. You can't really even express it what it is. The average person can't really express it. But if you go back and you examine, if you could do that, you'd recognize it's the story. Something about the element of that person telling the tale visually through that medium wasn't true. Something about it was weak. And you'll find it's rarely ever the acting. Sometimes it's the acting. Sometimes it's the technology. But most often it's the story.
Okay.
And so for us, when we decided we were going to make film, we had to recognize there had to be a foundation for us. And the foundation for us was, if you told a story about virtues, stories about courage, courage has no boundaries, no limitations in the world. There's no such thing as Japanese courage or Puerto Rican courage or African American courage. Courage is courage. Everybody recognizes it when they see it on the screen or any medium. And you read it in a book, you know courage. Justice, again, that's nothing. There's no group of people or any time period that has a distinction or refined boundary on justice. So these things transcend culture. They transcend time.
Okay.
So if you build and make films based around those ideas, you can reach the broadest audience because everybody can identify with it. Everybody has a concept of faith and hope. Those ideas, everybody recognizes them when you see them on the screen. So those are the kinds of things like for us. Like the films that we like, I think about It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed, 1946 Frank Capra film. And it's a standard holiday film that everybody shows every Christmas. But there's a reason why they do it every Christmas. There's a reason why that film, done back in 1946, still keeps being brought back into the 21st century.
Okay.
The foundation of it is family. The foundation of it is a faith in the goodness of human beings. The foundation of people believing that if you work together and help each other, support each other, great things can happen. And that, again, that resonates with everybody. Everybody recognizes family. Everybody recognizes the concept of pulling together and working. So that storyline works. And that's why generation after generation, that movie, it'll never stop being shown. As long as there's film, as long as they have an interest in people wanting to see film, that movie will go on. And that's the kind of the films that we want to do. We want to make films that have those core values that will always be recognized, and people will always want to see them because they're universal.
Okay. As a filmmaker, do you feel that it's the job of the director or the producer or the person who's putting the film together to really, how do I say, have a responsibility to really give culture to people, or should we just take whatever's out there and say, well, this is what's hot, so let's build on that? What is your ideas on that?
Well, to express that, I would have to go back to our foundation, and that is that my brother and myself, we were born, initially, we were born in the Nation of Islam, under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we were raised always to believe that we had an obligation as African Americans or black people, as we were referred to back then, to do good for our people, for ourselves and for our people. That we could not escape or pass off the responsibility of what needed to be done for our people to recover from the experience of slavery to anyone else. That was our responsibility as African American people, African Americans who we called ourselves Muslims at the time under his leadership, and that was the core essence of what is our upbringing as a people, as a family. That it is our obligation, particularly as African Americans, to do what we can and should to make a life better for ourselves, but not just us as individuals, but the group picture. We were always made conscious of the fact that slavery put us down as a race. We were put down as a race, not as individuals. And the only way we're going to rise is as a race, not as individuals.